Hello my dear students, I am Vinod Shankaran from EduShastra, and in this session we will discuss how to crack CAT 2023 in one go. Okay, now to the approach. Let's see how we should prepare for the CAT 2023. Now, the first thing you do is analyze the previous year papers. If you have not done that, do that right away. Do go ahead, take out 5 years, previous 5 years papers and analyze them, all the sections. See what kind of questions you think are possible for you, which questions are tough. Identify the difficulty level for you from the question paper. Once you have done that, create a clear study plan. A study plan is a must. Without a plan, you won't be able to succeed. It's simply because if I just make a plan in my mind and try to do it, by the time it is afternoon, you start forgetting them. The best thing to do is take a piece of paper and actually draw a clear cut study plan. Determine how many hours you are going to devote to your preparation. This is very important. Some of you may be actually be working. You don't get more than 3 hours. How many hours can you push in without actually suffering in your sleep, etc.? How much time can you push in? Where is what is the place where you are actually wasting a lot of time now? Where can you save time and put it into your studies? Then divide your study time effectively among different sections. Which section requires the most focus? Decide that and work on that. Set weekly and monthly targets to track your progress and ensure timely completion of the syllabus. The syllabus must be completed before you take the mock test. So it is important that you make sure that you, within a reasonable time frame, you finish the syllabus. It's important. Include dedicated revision and practice sessions in your study plan for the syllabus. For all the sections that you find are difficult, you must attempt a number of questions before getting into the mock tests scenario. Develop test taking skills. Do previous year papers when you have not completed the syllabus. If the syllabus is not completed, I don't advise you to take the mock tests. Start with the mock tests only when you have completed the syllabus. Solve a sufficient number of mock tests and previous year question papers to simulate the actual exam environment. When you do this, when you take a number of mock tests within the time frame, it actually tells you how to maximize or how to efficiently use your time in each section. Which questions to do first and which questions to do later. Analyze your performance, identify the weak areas and work on improving them. Fourth point is learn effective strategies such as time allocation per section, question selection. Which question should I do first? Easy ones, difficult ones, or the longer ones or the shorter ones? That is also very important. Question selection. And altogether leaving a question, saying that this question is something that I was even doing in the mock tests. These over a period of time, you'll realize that some questions are a no-go. You do not make much headway into them. You cannot do those. Simply put, they take a lot of time for solving, sir. So leave those questions altogether. Which questions to leave? Because nobody is expected to do 100% of the questions in the CAT paper. Okay, you're looking for 100 percentile, not solving 100 questions or all the questions. Okay, so practice pacing yourself to complete the exam within the given time frame. And then the last point is a very important point. Work on accuracy first. First of all, when you attempt questions, make sure that if you are attempting 10 questions, you get the 10 questions right. Okay, and if you, sir, I don't attempt more than 10 questions in the entire paper, but I get those 10 questions right, then speed and the number of questions should increase. First of all, work on accuracy. What you know best must never be wrong. What you know best must never go wrong. Make sure that you do that first. Accuracy must be in the high 90s. That is between 96% and 100%. Every mock test, every sectional test you take, the accuracy rate should be between 96 and 100. Anything below is not desirable. Time management. Create a daily and weekly study schedule, allotting specific time slots for each section and topic. Prioritize your study tasks based on difficulty level and importance. Which one do you think come the most? Say there are 4 questions on a particular topic and that is difficult for you. So work on that. Avoid procrastination. Don't delay or postpone things. What you need to do on that day, you do it. Don't postpone it for somebody's birthday, for sleeping late, etc. What you have to do on that day, you have to do it, because only then you'll be able to complete your syllabus and be able to crack the CAT this year itself. Take short breaks during study sessions to maintain focus and avoid burnout. Don't sit in one stretch at the computer or with your books and become tired. Get up, walk, then come back and sit, because you need to keep your focus and your mind fresh throughout. Analyze and learn from mistakes. This is very important. Most of us, what we do is when we are attempting questions, if I get two wrong, I skip. Okay, I got two wrong. That is not the way. The two questions that went wrong, why did they go wrong? What you could have done better to correct them? And what is the approach given in the explanation? Try that. Regularly review your mock test performances and analyze the mistakes made. Identify common patterns of errors and work on strengthening those areas. Understand the correct solutions for questions you have answered incorrectly. Maintain an error log to track recurring mistakes and revise those concepts regularly. Maintain a healthy lifestyle. Now, this is very important. Healthy mind in a healthy body. So the healthy body is very important. Get adequate amount of sleep, 7 to 8 hours, to ensure optimum cognitive function. Your mind works the best when you have slept for 7 to 8 hours. So don't sacrifice your sleep for studies. It will be counterproductive. Engage in regular physical exercise to stay fit and relieve stress. Walk, the simplest thing. Or if you can play, go ahead, play a set of badminton. Okay. Follow a balanced diet to nourish your body and brain. Avoid junk food for the next 6 months. Try to eat the minimum. Okay. Junk food has a tendency to make you go dull. Second, if it creates any problem, physical problem, then because of that, you'll miss your preparation, which is not good. Practice relaxation techniques such as meditation or deep breathing exercise to manage exam-related anxiety. And don't worry about the result. The result comes later on the D-Day. Okay? Till then, you are preparing. So don't at all give up hope. Simply make sure that you are looking at 60% of the question paper to get them 100% right. Okay? So if you have 120 questions, you are going to attempt 60% of the questions at 96 to 100% accuracy. That is all. So don't worry about what you're not able to do. Some sections being very difficult. Don't worry about those. Stay motivated and positive. Surround yourself with a supportive study group or friends who share similar goals. Celebrate small achievements. This we never do. When was the last time you congratulated yourself? Patted yourself on the back? We don't do that. When we don't pat ourselves on the back, you'll never be able to appreciate the work of others. Appreciate yourself. Whenever you achieve even the smallest thing, pat yourself on the back. Tell your parents, Daddy, today I normally sleep till late. I got up early in the morning today and I sat down to study. That is an achievement for you. Your parents will realize that. Celebrate small achievements and milestones to stay motivated. Suppose you have become good at reading comprehension, which you were not. Tell yourself that I've become good, I've put in the effort, and thank yourself. Maintain a positive attitude even in challenging times. This goes without saying. Everybody says this. It's difficult, but you have to practice it. Visualize success and maintain self-belief in your abilities. Whenever your mind sags or your mind becomes slack, or you think the practice or your preparation or the marks are not adequate, think of the day you're coming out of the institute. You're coming out of one IIM with a big pay package, completely having completed your MBA. That will be enough motivation for you to start studying again. Now, strategy to prepare for RC. Let's check that. The first thing you do is analyze the previous year papers. If you have not done so, start doing that immediately. Find out which RC subjects you find easy. in the RC sections of the previous year papers, go read the passages and see which type of passages give you you find the easiest and which ones you find the hardest. Okay, that will give you a very fair idea, and you'll see how comfortable you are with the kind of passages you are asked. And then the questions also. The questions you can see later, but understand the topics from which questions are asked. Okay, and not one previous year paper, do at least 5-6 years of previous year papers. Once you have analyzed these papers, practice reading comprehension. Now, this is a very, very important thing. Read a variety of passages from different subjects and practice answering comprehension questions. These two are very important. Analyze the passage structure, identify the main idea, and develop efficient reading techniques. We have discussed all those in the class. Put to use all the concepts you have learned from us. Whatever I have taught you, whatever other teachers have taught you, put those concepts to use. Don't let there be a disconnect. You do everything in the class, but when it comes to application, you are doing your own thing. Okay, you do not bring what you learned in the classes to the examination hall or to your practice. That's a very bad thing to do. If you engage in such kind of practice, then please consciously bring what you have learned in the classroom to bear upon when you are doing your practice. Develop reading speed and comprehension. That happens only with practice. Comprehension, the speed increases only with comprehension. When you start comprehending more, you start reading faster. Regularly practice speed reading exercises to improve your reading speed without compromising comprehension. Now, sometimes what you do is purposefully you read faster and also try to keep the focus. That's how, once you have reached a certain speed and you find that you can understand the passage, increase the speed a little further. Okay, keep shifting your goals. Online resources can provide drills and techniques to enhance your reading speed. Then, all of you keep asking me, sir, what are some of the reading resources that you would suggest? The first one is the New York Times. Okay, most passages I've seen have been taken from the New York Times, The Guardian, The Economist, National Geographic, Scientific American, Harvard Business Review, The Atlantic, BBC News, Project Syndicate, Medium, Eon, Vice, and Science. I'm pretty sure, and the Hindu also, from our newspapers, the Hindu, the Indian Express, the editorial pages of all these magazines will also help you immensely. Okay, and I'm sure that you have already started following some of these. You already read, and when you're reading, build vocabulary. Enhance your vocabulary by reading extensively. Reading itself will solve a lot many problems for you. Read newspapers, magazines, and quality books to expose yourself to a wide range of words and their usage. Lay special focus on phrasal verbs. Now, this is a very important part for CAT. Phrasal verbs you must learn. Place special focus on learning phrasal verbs. Practice. Now, this is another thing that I keep telling my students. Practice at least 20 to 30 questions every day. Vocabulary questions every day. Do not worry about getting the answers wrong. There is a reason. Suppose you attempt 20 or 30 questions and you get none of them right. You had an opportunity to learn 30 words plus the options that you got. So, and when you bombard your mind with many words, there is every chance that you will recall. Okay. In the fear that, in the apprehension that we are not able to learn words, we give up. After 3 or 4 days, we give up. Nobody can expect a normal person to recall everything he learns in one go. Okay, but bombarding your mind with many words and forgetting them, you think you are forgetting, your mind starts retaining. Okay, it's like sprinkling the dry ground with many droplets of water. Okay, as you keep doing that over a period of time, the earth will get wet, your mind will get wet with words. That is, they'll start brimming with words. Okay, so please do exercises every day, whether you get them right or wrong, it doesn't matter, but you have to do 20 to 30 questions every day for vocabulary. Strategy to prepare grammar. Now, what are some of the most important and vital grammar topics that are asked? So I'll tell you. Identification of parts of speech. Now, this you cannot forego. This is something that you must learn. Okay, and I teach this in all my classes. Identification of parts of speech. How to identify a noun, a verb, an adjective, a preposition, a conjunction. It's a very, very important concept because At times, you'll get straight away get 2 or 3 questions based on parts of speech identification itself. Okay, that's a huge number. If you get 3 of them right, have the ability to break the sentence into clauses and phrases. A sentence primarily has 2 components, clauses and phrases. So first of all, learn how to identify the phrases and clauses in a sentence, then put them together and create the sentence in the mind and understand. And let me tell you, if there are errors are going to be in the clauses or the phrases. Now, one more grammar concept that is tested in every exam you go to is subject verb agreement, and CAT is no exception. Pronouns, very important. Tense, prepositions, modifiers, parallelism, and articles. I have written only the most important grammar concepts, and this is more than enough for attempting 20% of the questions that come in CAT. Practice. Have an approach for correcting sentences. Now, it's very important. When we start correcting sentences, without an approach, you will not be able to correct sentences. What is the correct approach? Read the sentence thoroughly. First of all, read the sentence thoroughly. Don't try to correct the sentence right from the word go. First of all, read the sentence to understand it. Understand the meaning of the sentence by deconstructing the sentence into clauses and phrases. I told you a sentence has primarily 2 components, the clauses and the phrases. Try to identify those and put the meaning together. Apply subject verb agreement, modifier, symmetry, preposition, and article rules, and then eliminate the options. Please memorize this. This is the approach you will take to every test you do. Every time you are trying to correct a sentence, you will take this approach. Read, understand, apply, eliminate. Then do at least 200 sectional tests. That is, on nouns, try to do 200 questions. On pronouns, you try to do 200 questions. On subject verb agreement, you try to do 200 questions, sectional tests, and then do assorted questions. That is a medley of questions where all the concepts are mixed. And then attempt mock tests. At least attempt 10 mock tests before you go to the exam. And previous year papers also you should attempt at least 10 of them. But we start the mock tests not right away. We start the mock tests only when you have completed the syllabus. Strategy to prepare CR, critical reasoning. Okay, the first one is, what are the skills required? Know critical reasoning concepts and question types. Now, if you do not know the concepts, you will never be able to attempt critical reasoning questions. You have to understand the concepts and the type of questions asked. And then active reading. Practice this and your critical reasoning skills develop on their own. What is this? We will discuss one by one. And have an approach for CR questions also. Like for sentence arrangement, you had an approach. The same way to attempt critical reasoning questions also, we should have an approach. Now, first of all, get to know what CR terminology is. What is critical reasoning terminology? Learn the definition and application of critical reasoning terminologies like assumptions. You should know what exactly an assumption means, what an inference means, what we mean by implicit, what we mean by weakening, strengthening, flaw in the argument, etc. You should have very clear-cut concept, the definition of all these in your mind and the ability to identify those. The application part. What do we mean by active reading? Active reading is, even when you are doing reading comprehension questions, you don't read passively. Okay, every paragraph you read, you keep asking. You try to associate your thoughts. Okay, what you have read in the first 2 lines, try to associate them with the last 2 lines of the paragraph. Okay, so be actively involved in the passage rather than reading the sentences, but your mind is closed. Okay, so every time you read, suppose you are reading the 4th sentence and it doesn't make sense, then go and try to understand which of the previous sentences it relates to. Try to anticipate. When you are reading one sentence, try to anticipate what could follow. Okay, so do not limit these concepts only to question answer sessions. Okay, now what will be the best approach for CR questions? What do we do, sir? Please watch this very carefully. The best approach for CR questions is to read and understand the question. Simplify. Sometimes the questions are long-winded. Okay, long-winded. They seem to be, it's a very long sentence question, like, which of the following, if true, will the author be ready to agree with? It's simply what will support the argument. made by the author. Okay, so try to simplify the question that you have been given, okay, with the ones that you have learned. Okay, try to simplify the question into a concept that you already know. Try to equate the question with the concepts you know, and then try to find the answer. So the best approach to do would be to read the question first for critical reasoning questions. But for reading comprehension, it's a different approach altogether. Okay, when you evaluate options, for critical reasoning questions, always read the question first, go to the option, then the passage. That is question, option, passage. And you want to do it again do the same thing, question, passage, option. That is, you never ever miss reading the question. More often than not, you do not understand the question, therefore you get your answer wrong. So every time you feel that there is more than one option that could be the answer, sir, read the option, read the question, then go back to the passage. Come back from the passage, read the question, and then read the option. Don't skip reading the question when you are evaluating options. What I'm saying is 1, 2, 3, 4. You think 3 must be the right answer. From 3, you go to the passage, leaving the question. It's not to be done. When you think 3 could be the answer, read the third option, read the question, then go back to the passage. And when you come back from the passage, again do the same thing. Read the question, then go to the option, and you will see whether that option is correct or incorrect. You can take the decision very quickly. And a lot of practice is required. Practice, practice, and practice. Now, time management. Always do the grammar and vocabulary questions first, because they are fewer in number, and whether you know them or you don't know them. Okay, so once you have done this, you are at least sure of 20% of the questions that you have done. At least the easier ones did not slip through your fingers. Try to avoid rereading the passage. Now, how to read the passage, sir? Try to avoid rereading the passage by reading the passage and the questions simultaneously. Now, reading comprehension, it's a different approach. You read the passage and the questions together. The first paragraph, maybe 1 or 2 questions. The second paragraph, 1 or 2 questions. Okay, that means by the time you end reading the passage, by the time you end up reading the passage, you have also read all the questions. And if you were able to answer them, it's done. You don't have to go back to the passage again. Don't have to read the passage again. You'll be saving a lot of time, and you'll also be saving a lot of heartache for yourselves. Because when you read the question and the passage together, if the information that you require to answer this question is there in front of you, it's easier to answer because you can connect to the question immediately. The third point, ensure that you do not end up getting the time to attempt, not getting the time to attempt easy questions. Okay, not getting the time to attempt easy questions because you tried the harder ones first. Okay, and by the time you came to the easier ones, like the grammar questions or the vocabulary questions, you did not find the time because you had used up all the time in doing the harder ones. Okay, so first of all, attempt the easier questions. It's very important. Hence, first the easy questions, then the tougher ones, and the time consuming and the toughest ones at the end. Okay, even if you think that set passages are easy for me, well, but if they take a lot of time, the reading part takes a lot of time, leave it for later. Do the easier questions, grammar and the vocabulary questions first. Finally, attempt mock tests only when you have finished the grammar, RC and CR syllabi. Only when you have completed all the syllabus for all the grammar, RC and CR sections, only then you attempt the mock tests. Don't attempt the mock tests right away. Okay, develop a strategy in the first 5 mock tests by adopting different methods. Now, I said at least 10 mock tests. So 50% of these mock tests must be devoted to settling on one strategy. That is, you try one strategy in one of the mock tests. If that doesn't work, try the second one in the second mock test. Okay, and if that starts working, try to apply it to the third mock test. If it works, then carry on with the 4th, 5th, and the other mock tests. Okay, but towards the end of that is about let's say from the 7th mock test to the 10th mock test, whatever you have settled upon as a strategy, stick to that. Don't go to the examination hall and try to change your strategy on the D-Day that can backfire really, really badly. Okay. Then in the last 5 mock tests, stick to one strategy. Do not change your strategy in the actual exam. Okay. Remember, we are always there to help you. You can seek our help anytime you want. Okay. Of course, not on the D-Day. On the D-Day, you are by yourself. Okay. We will be there with you holding hands till the D-Day. Okay. So on the D-Day, you're on your own. So practice. I'm sure with practice and hard work, you'll be able to crack the VARC section of CAT really well. And I've armed you with really great concepts. Okay. And we are always there to help you. Remember, this strategy is a guideline and you can customize it based on your individual strengths, weaknesses, and learning style. Consistency, perseverance, and dedication are key to achieving success in CAT 2023. Good luck with your preparation. I am Vinod Shankaran with Team EduShastra, wishing you all the best.